Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to the channel update for February 2017. I figured I best kick this one out the door as quickly as possible because I woke up this morning, looked at the calendar, and kind of went, oh yeah, February's a little bit of a short month, isn't it? If I hold off any longer on this, it will be, in fact, March, rendering the channel update for February kinda redundant, so we're gonna do a quick whip through everything that's happened this month, things that I've embarked on, things that I've achieved, and first thing that comes to mind is the dual stream. Very happy that this actually worked. I did a test stream a few weeks ago with Cave Story, and the whole purpose of that test stream was to check that a service called Restream did in fact work properly, and the whole purpose of that was to stream to both Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. I figured I had a little bit of a problem where not a lot of people, even though I mention it frequently during the channel updates, are aware that I actually do live streaming on Twitch. So I thought, you know what, why not bring the live stream to them at the same time that I do it on Twitch? And thanks to Restream, which bafflingly is a completely free service, I was able to do so, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic seeing the chat stream trickling in, lots of baffled people suddenly realizing that yes, I am live streaming, and secondly, that is actually what I look like, and it was a fun old time. And we've managed to follow that up nicely with Doom Mod Madness Live, with Sonic Robo Blast, which is pretty great. Recently, we did Unloved, and that wasn't as great. I think that's more because of the aftermath than anything, because if you've been following the live stream, you've probably been wondering why the archived version of it only just turned up on Monday this week, and that's because YouTube has been dicking me around with content ID flags for a few days now. Originally what I tried to do was create a new copy of the video with the offending sections where there was copywritten music in the mod playing, and that was supposed to be muted. It would just go silent for a very short period of time. And I thought, why not just keep an original copy of the video just in case, you know, I need to mess around with it or download it and keep it offline. So I uploaded the new version, and it got copyright flagged again, which just drove me insane. So for a brief period it was online, a lot of people were actually starting to trickle into it and watch it, but I had to take it down relatively quickly because, yeah, there was no point. So cue a few days later, YouTube finally processes the original video. That's how long it friggin' took, nearly 48 friggin' hours just to mute what amounts to about a minute and a half's worth of footage in a 3-hour video, and now it is finally online, and god, what a friggin' ordeal. So I've learned a few lessons from that. I certainly will be vetting my mods in future just to make sure they don't have licensed music in there that could potentially screw me over later on down the line, but as I mentioned on Twitter, even after I finished playing Unloved, it still found ways to fuck me over. Speaking of getting fucked over, at some point relatively soon, if rumor is to be believed, tens of thousands of YouTube channels are going to be dropped from the Maker network. Guess who that also includes? That's right, me. And the reason why I say rumor is because Maker quite recently put out an email saying that things were changing and we'll brief you on those changes relatively soon. Or just, you know, visit the forums, ask a few questions, we'll be happy to answer them. People have asked questions, no one has answered, there's been no follow-up, and all anyone in the network has to go on is basically news from other sources, which is a pretty frustrating position to be in. I mean, when it comes down to it, there's only two important questions I need answered. Firstly, am I getting let go? Which I can reasonably assume the answer to that is going to be yes. And secondly, the most important question of all, when? Because if I know when I'm getting let go, I can plan ahead. I can plan whether I want to jump ship to another network, whether I'd like to go it alone, because all things considered, I'd very much like to keep this going, you know? It's just too much fun. But yeah, here's hoping I actually get some concrete information on that relatively soon. So, outside of all that, what else have I been up to? Well, recently I've kind of been salivating over the release of the new Ryzen chips. If you're not aware of what Ryzen is, it's a new CPU released by AMD. They're currently coming out with the R7 range, which is their top-of-the-line range, cheapest chips, rivaling Intel's i7, and I basically need a system update, so I've been eyeing these up going, ooh, they look pretty nice, ooh, those will get me some extra frames per second on my streams, on my recordings, so I've been eagerly keeping an eye on the news for Ryzen, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be in my best interest to wait around for the R5 chips, which are supposed to be more in line with the Intel i5s. That's probably more my price range, more what I actually need. And yeah, when it comes out, I'll be very happy to compare and contrast, because ultimately this will not just benefit me, it will also benefit you guys. It means I can render stuff at a higher quality. I mean, with Doom, that's not necessarily a problem, but when it comes to things like streaming, you know, those extra frames per second, that extra bit of quality on screen makes all the difference. But in terms of the stream itself, you may not be aware, I've been doing a Dark Souls stream on Wednesday and Thursday. I completed Dark Souls 1 not too long ago, currently on Dark Souls 3, very near the end in fact. Feels like a very short game in comparison to the first one, definitely short in comparison to the second one as well, which was gargantuan. But yeah, if you feel like popping by and saying hi, feel free. Wednesdays, Thursdays between 12 and 5 GMT. Currently running through the DLC area in anticipation of the new DLC release that's coming out near the end of March. Very much looking forward to that. And also in Dark Souls, because I'm obsessed with the bloody game, I'm also playing the Dark Souls 2 Return to Drang Lake event. If you're not aware of this, basically a bunch of people say, right, at this particular time of the year, everyone's going to pile back into the game, kind of rejuvenate it, and have some fun with all the invasions and the co-op, and just rediscovering the game all over again. I was a little apprehensive, to be honest, because I don't think I enjoyed Dark Souls 2 anywhere near as much as I did 1 or 3, but I decided to do it anyway. Maybe this will be the thing that tips me over into enjoying it a little bit more, so hopefully I'll have something to show for that. I have been recording footage, I have been planning on doing something with it, but time will tell whether I actually get off my backside and do something vaguely interesting with that stuff. So that's February pretty much taken care of. What about the month ahead? What about March? What am I looking forward to? Well, first thing that comes to mind is certainly Nier Automata. I've been keeping my eye on that one for quite a while. I mean, Platinum Games, yes please. Yoko Taro, absolute madman, also welcome. I mean, everything about this game seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Ticks a lot of my boxes, right up my alley, floats my boat, tickles my pickle, all of those words, and I really can't wait to get a good proper hands-on with the thing, and hopefully eventually give you guys a review of it as well. I'm just hoping that the release date is actually a little bit more concrete now. I'm thinking it's the 10th of March. I could be wrong. Everything's a little vague at the moment. I mean, come on. Squeenix, sort your shit out, goddammit. After that, the Zelda Breath of the Wild, which no, I'm not buying a Switch for. I already own a Wii U. I mean, sod buying an entire console just for the sake of one game. Oh, Bloodborne. Why do you have to be on the PlayStation 4? God damn it. But it looks nice. It looks very, very nice indeed. Very open world. Bit of Shadow of the Colossus in there, a bit of Skyrim maybe. It's a big change from what I can tell from the usual Zelda template, and I'm hoping it's good. No one wants it to be bad, and I just wish I could also review that game, but because of Nintendo's pants-on-head retarded partner program where they basically say, no, you have to pay us before you cover any of our stuff on YouTube, probably means I won't be putting a review of this up. Or if I do, it'll be done through the medium of either static images or another game entirely in the background. STRAFE also comes out in March. This is something a lot of retro FPS enthusiasts have been eagerly awaiting, as have I. It looks like a lot of fun, a lot of gore, a lot of action-packed mayhem. Not too sold on the whole randomized level generation thing. I think people have moved past that. People would rather prefer nicely constructed and crafted levels in place of that these days, but you never know, it might work for the purposes of STRAFE. It may fit together in ways as yet unanticipated, but time will indeed tell. So there's a fair chunk of things there that I'm looking forward to, a fair chunk of things that'll probably drain my bank account, but yeah, an interesting looking month nonetheless. Anyway, last but certainly not least, it is time to give a big, badass shout out to my Nutter tier patrons. Thank you very much to Ben Rosenberg, Incursion Gerbil, Jeremy Strickland, Michael Ewer, JMAA, and Fenrir Wolf. Thank you very much for your contributions. Also, not forgetting my Loon tier patrons. You guys are awesome. 2 names on screen right there. Thank you very much for helping me out. And if you're interested in joining these people on Patreon, the link, as usual, is in the description below. Thank you very much for stopping by and listening to the ramblings of an insane person here on the channel update. Hope to see you next time. This has been Mr. Icarus. Icarus out.